Hi class, today we're going to do the endospore stain. We're going to look for the presence of endospores. These are kind of a dormant state of the bacteria. They package their DNA into this little nut or this hard shell material inside the cell, and then the regular cell called the vegetative cell will disintegrate, and then the spores are very hardy. They can survive being dried out, desiccation, or they can survive some higher heats. They can last for many years. In fact, there's some evidence that documentation that shows that they can last many decades, if not hundreds of years. So we're going to just go through the basics. Mainly, you're going to first put a drop of water on your slide right here, and then once it's on there, then you'll do a heat fix. So you get a little bit of bacteria and make a circle in it, and then let it air dry, and then we'll go in and do the staining. So the stain will be a special stain called malachite green, and we have to kind of coax it in. We have to do it over a steam bath and a little wet paper towel with the stain on it to keep it moist for the stain to soak in. And it is important to use older cultures for this, because the spores are a preservation technique for the cells. So they will not produce the spores unless they are running out of food or the conditions are not very good for their survival. So then they go into survival mode and produce the spores. So that means we don't want fresh cultures. We want something that's a week old, something like that would be best, and then we'll sample that. Now the spores can be different shapes. They can be a little bit ovals, a little bit longer than they are wide, but they are pretty small, because all they have is the nucleic acids in it, and so it's not a lot of material that needs to go in it. All right, so then we'll do the stain next time. So I'm going to do the heat fix smear here, and then we'll see what happens. One side note, though, is not all cells do spores. So this is unique to a classification of spores that are in the genus Bacillus or the genus Clostridium. Okay, if it's an E. coli or a micrococcus, they do not do spores. So, technically we could throw out the ones that are gram negative, because mostly these are gram positive, because the Bacillus and the Clostridium genera are gram positive. So cocci can be thrown out because they don't generally produce spores, and then the gram negatives can be thrown out because they don't produce spores. But we're going to do them all, and we'll just read them. But you can streamline your efforts. So if on your unknown you get it down to a gram positive rod, then yes, you should do the endospore stain. If it's a gram positive cocci or a gram negative rod, then it's probably not something that's going to be valuable in identifying. Okay, so I have some cultures here that are older. This particular first one is E. coli, which is about 2 weeks old. So I flame my loop, go in and get a little bit of pure culture, and then I'm just going to put it on my slide and mix it in. Flame again, and number one is done. And we'll switch to number 3. Okay, 3 is done, and so forth. We'll do the rest of them, and then we'll look at the next step. We've done the smears, now we just need to heat fix them. And if you're looking at this, I've done 3 samples per slide. It just makes things more easy to do. Okay. And then we're going to heat fix it 3 times. 1, 2, 3. And then we just do that to all of them, and then we're ready to do the Endospore Stain.